Welcome everybody. We're here with Captain Tom Waitkus, who leads our UPRT solutions team at APS, and so his team will be who you talk to when you submit information into APS, and I just want to let him talk about that because we're really excited about talking to you as soon as we can, because we know when you express interest, you're looking forward to learning more and getting the training as soon as you can. And he and his team take that process for you to help you feel like it's built for you. So Tom, so the way the marketing process works is they can submit a form, they can call in, whatever it might be. They become what we call a sales qualified lead, but it goes into our system so we don't miss anybody. Right. And so what kind of happens from there all the way to the point where you hand them over to Gladys, because she's coming up next in the next video.
Sure. So either myself or a member of my team will reach out directly by phone and introduce ourselves. If we don't get a hold of them, we'll send them a welcome email, just sort of identify who we are and APS, give them a little bit of information about ourselves, certainly identify a little bit about the threat and how APS addresses it. Hopefully we connect with them, ideally within the first 2 days. Yeah. And then from there, we connect with them. Ideally we'll talk about the threat. More importantly, we want to make sure they understand the underlying hazards. While a lot of people understand loss of control in flight and the overwhelming fatalities, oftentimes they don't understand the laundry list of hazards that fall underneath.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think it is a learning process, and I think the good news is when somebody calls in, they've gone through a certain level of educating themselves, right? Yeah, and they're starting to look around, and so that's exciting. And so they'll get an email probably first from you, right? Sure. Saying, hey, we got you, you're in the system, don't want to miss you, and then you want to connect, but if you don't connect, we're going to continue to email them, and you kind of probably want to apologize in advance for trying to get a hold of them a lot, right? Because I think what we're all passionate about is saving lives, and the only way we can do that is to get you to show up and go through the training program.
Well, yeah, and of course we all know pilots, their schedules vary, and so timing's everything, right? So we just want to make sure we connect on their terms when it's convenient. Ideally, eventually we'd like to have a short video call with them so we can learn about their operations and make it as easy as possible so we can customize a solution, because it's really that straightforward.
Yeah, and there's a lot of providers out there that offer different solutions, so to speak. There's on-aircraft piston providers, there's jet providers, there's people flying in business jets, there's simulator only, there's other ones who just kind of talk about it in an online class. And so we kind of do all of that, and we dominate all those different areas really when it comes to on-aircraft and simulation. But I think in that conversation, you want to talk to them about a solution that's built for them based on what, where, and how they operate as a pilot, because generic solutions don't effectively mitigate the risk. Is that something you want to talk about a little bit?
Absolutely. I mean, if you truly want to mitigate the risk, you have to understand their operations and their specific customized operation to what, where, and how they fly. And the nice thing about APS is we have mastery standards based around that, so they can quickly identify how much risk they're taking off the table with our customized solutions that address every aspect of their operation, whether it's high altitude, jet, piston, simulator, VR, everything. And I think we're the only operator that can address type-specific considerations. Yeah,
absolutely. And so, one of the things that I think is really important is that very often, the industry, especially with APS and the facilities that we have here, has really evolved to the next level. Is very often people are kind of phoning in to figure out who's going to be the best solution for me, who knows how to mitigate my risk. Well, the good news about APS, we can mitigate all of it. That's figured out, that ship has sailed. Really the question is, how much your risk do you want to mitigate as the pilot, and how much do you want to leave on the table? Because we can give you a program that does it all, or does part of it, but at the end of the day, we're going to try to coach you to that gold standard, but we will deliver whatever program that people want. And so what does that process look like for them?
Well, that's the great thing, is we can quickly have a threat assessment based on their operation, provide a couple different solutions for them based on the mastery standards, and whether they're an owner operator or military unit, airline, flight school, corporate flight department, they can go back to their team or whoever, think about it, and come back based on their budget, time off schedule, whatever their needs are, we'll meet them, provide a solution. And then if they need to mitigate some more risk when they come back for recurrent, we can get them to the Gold Pro.
So one of the things we find, especially with military units, flight departments, and a lot of the owner-operators, it's not really about cost, it's time, right? The amount of time they're here. And so probably one of the things to share is the difference between a bronze program and a gold program is not really time. You do it all in 3 days, right? It's really about the design of the program to mitigate their risk, because the design of the program is not canned. It's unique to different areas of operation. So a gold program for a VFR only single engine, single pilot piston operator is vastly different than a multi-engine high performance crewed operator who's operating at high altitude.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's interesting, we've got some flight departments that fly, Gulfstreams and Globals, but they've also got seaplanes and other things, and so we have vastly different solutions for their pilots. And again, they can come out as a group and they're here at the same time, but they're doing different programs. And it's great.
And so, the one thing is that everybody's limited by time and budget when it comes down to it, right? And so if they have a certain number of pilots and a limited budget, then get through some program, even at a bronze level, because in recurrent, just a couple of years later, you can fill in the gaps and go immediately to at least Gold Pro.
Right.
And so it's pretty straightforward in that process. And so I think the biggest thing is just our simple process of invest, schedule, show up, right?
And it is that easy. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's just great. I mean, we've had flight departments, big, large flight departments that have come to us, maybe because they've seen the statistics or they've had an upset or something like that, and within 2 weeks they're on the schedule.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see that, and it's unfortunate that sometimes the motivation to take action is written in blood, which is obviously very, very tragic. So any kind of words of wisdom to share with everybody here as we kind of wrap up today, and what that experience can be like? I guess kind of as short or as long as they want, right?
It is. My only advice is don't wait too long. It's not too complex of a problem to solve. Reach out. At the very least, you'll get some education, and that's a start.
Exactly. And we do offer opportunities. You talked about a video call where you can actually look at all the charts and the mitigations and the solutions, but also for many flight departments will end up coming to show up for even a half-day evaluation, because at the end of the day, sometimes if you're not familiar with this, it kind of seems like smoke and mirrors until you show up and you experience it, and then it's like 99.9% of the time it's like, we have to have that. Then it becomes that champion's challenge to sell it to the decision maker if that's not the decision maker that shows up. Is that a fair statement?
It is, and there's a reason that we don't charge people to come out here and do those things, is because we're passionate about saving lives and we want them to make an educated decision.
And the best champions of the program, once they go through the process, when it kind of leaves you and goes over to Gladys in our scheduling department, is the biggest champions the one that graduate the program. So if you have a 40 pilot flight department, the first 2 that go through will sell everybody else.
Absolutely, every time.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I think that's it. Anything else to add for today?
No, I'm just looking forward to chatting with more flight departments and pilots. It's great.
Okay, well, great. Well, next we have Gladys coming up in our next video, where she's going to talk about what happens when you get the investment done and you hand it over to them.
Excellent. Sounds good. Thanks, BJ.
All right.